Hello yogis, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for choosing to practice with me today. Today's practice is basic sun salutations, but we are adding variations into the usual sun salutation sequence, and I have segmented the whole vinyasa flow into three parts. The first one, we'll add in variations that will work on the upper body strength. And the second part will be working on hip mobility, like opening of our hip flexors and flexibility in the hip and pelvic region. In the third part, we'll work on strengthening our back muscles and flexibility. So we'll be doing variations of wild thing, or if you have full wheel, if you can transition from wild thing to full wheel and things like that. And there will be modifications for beginners as well. Like I'll cue the modifications. It's a short, quick practice. If something doesn't suit your body, you can swap that entire asana with something which you are craving for that day, or which is more appropriate for you in your practice. Use props wherever you feel it necessary. Meet your body where it is at today. Do not force yourself to look a particular shape or to go into a particular asana. Flow with your breath. Take it easy. Just have fun. Please do subscribe to my channel. That will be really helpful. And let me know in the comments section how you like this practice. If you want to work on flexibility through a particular area, or if you want certain transitions added into your vinyasas, let me know, and I can build vinyasas around those things. Whenever you're ready, let's meet on the mat. Let's begin today's practice at the top of the mat in Tadasana. Feet are hip distance apart. We'll take 2 rounds of sun salutations. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. You can bring your palms to your chest for an extra stretch in your hamstrings. Exhale, plant your palms onto the mat. Step back into your plank pose. We'll flow through Chaturanga. You can take a modification here and bring your knees onto the floor, or you can come into full plank. Shift your weight forward. Exhale, upward facing dog. Inhale, downward facing dog. Next, exhale, bend your knees, look to the front of the mat, step or hop to your hands. Fold forward, reverse swan dive, and come all the way up. Arms reach over your head and come back Tadasana. Let's flow through that once more. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms onto the mat. Step back into your plank pose and flow through your Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look to the front of your mat and step or hop to your palms. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way back up. Palms come to your chest, come back into Tadasana. Now we'll add on to our sun salutations, working on a little bit of upper body strengthening from here. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring your palms to your chest and the weight is on the balls of your feet. Exhale, plant your palms onto the mat. Step or hop back into plank pose and flow through your Chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Next breath, lift your right leg up, coming into your 3-legged dog. Bend your knee, bring your right knee into your chest, plant your foot in between your hands. Back foot pivots and plants onto the mat. It's at a 45-degree angle and come all the way up into your warrior one. One breath here. Next, exhale, plant your hands back onto the mat. Your left palm is directly under your left shoulder. Both your feet stack on top of each other and open up into your side plank facing the right side of your mat. You can either stack your feet and hold it here, or if you want to take a modification, you can bring your bottom knee down onto the mat, or you can scissor your feet, or if you want an extra challenge, you can bring your bottom knee into your chest, grab hold of your big toe and extend your legs. One breath here. Bring your feet back onto the mat. Bring your right forearm onto the mat and open up towards the left side, coming into a forearm side plank. Now bring both your forearms onto the mat, transitioning into a forearm plank. One breath in your plank and slowly walk your feet towards your hands, coming into Dolphin Pose. From here we'll transition coming into a full plank. So you can either watch me or listen to the cue. Lift your heels up, bend your knees, weight shifts towards the palms of your hand. As you exhale, you shoot and come into your plank pose. Flow through your Chaturanga, upward facing dog, coming back, downward facing dog. Next breath, lift your left leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your left knee into your chest and plant your left foot in between your palms. Right foot plants onto the mat at an angle of 45 degrees, or depending on your balance, come up into Warrior One. Exhale, bring both your palms onto the mat. This time your right palm comes directly underneath your right shoulder. Both feet stack and you open up towards the left side of the mat, coming into a full side plank. You can either stay here or take the modification that you took on the other side. If you did pull your knee into your chest and extend your bottom leg, you can take that variation here. Bring both your feet back into your plank. Left forearm comes onto the mat. Open up towards the right edge of long edge of your mat, coming in forearm side plank, facing the right side of your mat. Bring both forearms onto the mat, parallel to each other, coming into a forearm plank. Walk your feet towards your hands, working towards bringing your heels to the ground. Dolphin Pose. From here we will shift directly to plank pose. Bend your knees, lift your heels off the mat. Weight comes onto your palms, and as you exhale, you shoot up and come onto your palms, coming into a full plank. Flow through your Chaturanga, upward facing dog, come back, downward facing dog. Look to the front of your mat, bend your knees and hop to your hands, or walk to the front edge of the mat. Fold forward, halfway lift and sweep your arms all the way back up. Bring your palms to your chest, coming back, Tadasana. Walk your feet little wider than hip distance apart and fold forward, taking a slightly wide-legged forward fold. Halfway lift. Turn your toes towards the outer corners of the mat and bring your hips down, coming into Yogic squat or Malasana. Your palms are at your chest. This is an active pose. Engage your glutes and engage your inner thighs. The one way you can do that is, imagine pushing your elbows in with your legs and your elbows are pushing your legs out. If you want more of a challenge, you can bring your arms alongside your ears and hold it here. Make sure that in this variation your knees are not falling inwards. Bring your palms onto the mat. You can continue to stay in Malasana or you can take one crow pose here. So plant your palms onto the mat, walk your feet hip distance apart, lift your heels coming onto the balls of your feet. Bring your knees to your armpits or as high on your triceps as possible, and slowly start shifting your weight forward, resting your knees, bending your elbows and resting your knees on your forearm. Coming into crow pose. One breath here. Squeeze and bring your heels towards your glutes and release. Step back into plank pose. Flow through your chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Coming back, downward facing dog. Next breath, lift your right leg up, coming into a three-legged dog. Bend your knee, bring your heel towards your glute, stack your hips and open your hips towards the right side of the mat. Your standing leg is active. Pull up on your muscles, pull up on your kneecap. Open up towards the right side of the mat. Come back, three-legged dog, and bring your right knee into your chest and the knee comes down onto the mat. Pivot your shin. Try to bring it parallel to the front short edge of the mat and sink your hips down, working towards pigeon pose. Ideally, you need to have your shin completely parallel to the front edge of the mat. It completely depends on how your body works. So if it is not parallel to the front edge of the mat, don't stress too much on it, but make sure that your right foot is flexed so you don't hurt your knee. And you can have your palms in front of you or on the sides and lift up on your pelvic floor. Your core is active, back leg is active. You're not just slumping down onto your hips. Work on bringing your left hip down onto the mat. Next breath, shift your weight slightly onto your right glute. Parallel your front shin onto the front edge of the mat. Bend your back knee and your back quad is parallel to the front edge of the mat. So you're in this 90-90 position. From here, we'll pivot to the back of the mat. You can use your hands for support. We'll lift both our knees together, coming onto our feet and pivot to face the back of the mat, bringing the legs back in that 90-90 position and lift up our hips from here for a nice hip stretch. Come back onto the mat, pivot your legs back to the front, swing your back leg all the way around so your left foot comes on the outside of your right thigh and bring your right foot towards the left glutes. Sit up straight, wrap your right hand around your left knee and open your chest towards the left edge of the mat. The twist is coming from your torso alone. Both your butt cheeks are on the mat and open your chest towards the left edge of the mat. Release, swing your left leg back onto the mat, coming back into that pigeon pose. Your right foot meets your left foot, coming back into your plank pose and flow through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog, coming back, downward facing dog. Next breath, lift your left leg up, three-legged dog. Stack your hips, bend your knee, bring your left heel towards your left glutes and open your hips towards the left edge of the mat. Your weight is equally distributed through both your palms. Come back, three-legged dog. Bring your left knee into your chest. Place your left knee onto the mat and bring your hips down, coming into pigeon pose on the other side. Your left foot is flexed to protect your knee. Work towards bringing your right hip down onto the mat. Engage your core. You can have your palms either in front of your leg or on your sides. pelvic floor is engaged. Next exhale, bend your back knee to bring your back quad parallel to the front edge of the mat. Your front shin is parallel to the front edge of the mat. Either with the help of your hands and still engaging your core, or entirely depending on your core strength, lift both your knees off the mat and pivot to the back of the mat, and lift your hip off the floor for a nice hip stretch. Come back down, pivot both your legs back to the front of the mat, swing your back leg around, bringing your right foot on the outside of your left quad, and work your left foot back towards your right glutes. Wrap your right knee with your left hand, twist from your torso, opening your chest towards the right edge of the mat. Your spine is straight. Engage your core. One breath in your twist. Look towards the front of the mat. Bring your palms down and both feet shoot back, coming into your plank pose, and flow through your chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Shift back, downward facing dog. Look to the front of the mat, bend your knees, either hop or walk to your hands, halfway lift, fold forward, sweep your arms all the way back up, coming back Tadasana. Next breath, sweep your arms over your head, fold forward, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms onto the mat and bring both your knees down and lift up, coming onto your knees. You can have your feet flexed, or you can have the top of your feet down onto the mat. We will take a camel pose variation. If you're still working on building your camel pose, you can bring both your palms onto your lower back. Work towards puffing your chest up towards the sky. If you have your back toes tucked, it will be a little easier, and you can bring your knees slightly wider than hip distance. Either stay there or reach your left heel with your left hand and swing your right hand over your head, extending it towards the back edge of the mat. Next exhale, slowly come back up, swinging your right hand all the way around, and the right palm reaches the right heel and left arm sweeps over your head and the chest opens up towards the sky. Slowly release that, fold all the way forward, sweep your right hand all the way around, left palm reaches your left heel and chest opens up towards the sky. Slowly sweep your left arm around, right palm reaches your right heel and open up. And release to the front of the mat. Bring your heels hip distance apart and your hips come down onto your heels. Take a child's pose. Shift your weight forward onto your palm and lift up into your downward facing dog. Next breath, right leg lifts, coming into a three-legged dog. Stack your hips, bend your right knee, bringing your right heel towards your glutes, opening your hips towards the right side of the mat. Your standing leg is active. Pull up on your kneecaps here. You can either stay here or flow into your wild thing. Your right foot comes behind and reaches the mat. You make sure that your left palm is directly under your left shoulder here and open up into your wild thing. Right palm comes back onto the mat, coming into plank pose. Come all the way down onto your mat. Your belly comes down onto the mat. You can take your locust. Engage your legs, pull up on your kneecaps. Tops of your feet are firmly grounding into the mat. Palms are on either side of your hips. Lift your chest, lift your palms, and lift your legs off the mat, coming into your locust pose. Stay in your locust pose or bend your knees, grab hold of both your ankles, start kicking your legs into your hands and lift your quads off the mat, and your chest comes up, coming into a bow pose. With every exhale, try to work your legs slightly more off the mat and release. Palms come on either side of your chest. Engage your legs, tuck your toes, pull up on your kneecaps and push up into your plank pose. Coming back, downward facing dog. Let's take that on the other side. Next breath, lift your left leg, coming into a three-legged dog. Stack your hips, bend your left knee, left heel comes towards your left glute, opening your hips towards the left side of the mat. Stay here or transition into your wild thing. Shift your weight forward. Your right shoulder is directly over your right palm and left foot reaches back towards the ground and open up. Your glutes are active here and your hips are pushing open towards the sky. Release and bring your left palm back to the mat, coming into a plank pose. Flow through your chaturanga, bringing your belly onto the mat. Either take a locust pose here or bend your knees and grab hold on the outside of your ankles and kick into your palms, lifting your quads off the mat. Chest comes off the mat, coming into a bow pose. Release back onto the mat. Bring your palms on either side of your chest. Tuck your toes. Lift your kneecaps. Engage your legs and push up, coming into plank pose and push back, downward facing dog. Look to the front of the mat, bring your knees down, coming into all fours. Bring your hips down onto the heels, cross your feet, sit down on the mat. Extend both your legs forward. Bring your right foot to your inner left leg. Your hips are facing towards the front edge of the mat. Extend both your arms over your head alongside your ears and fold forward, hinging from your hips onto your left leg. Engage your left leg, pull up on your kneecaps. So every exhale, try to come closer to your left leg. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold forward. Release, come back up. Arms come alongside your ears. Bring your left feet on your towards your inner right thigh. Hips face the front edge of the mat. Arms come alongside your ears and hinge from your hips and drape down onto your right leg. Pull up on your kneecaps on your right leg. Take deep breaths. Every inhale, lengthen. Every exhale, drape yourself down. Slowly come back up and extend both your legs. Come all the way down onto the mat. We'll take a belly twist here. Extend your left leg. Bring your right leg into your chest and hold for a breath. Next exhale, bring your right knee on the outside of your left hip. Your arms come out in a T, or you can use your left arm to slowly bring your right knee towards the ground. Make sure that both your shoulder blades are on the mat and your chest is facing the sky, and twist from your belly and breathe into it. Release. Bring your right leg onto the mat, left knee comes into the chest. Exhale, bring your left knee on the outside of your right hip. Arms come out in a T, or you can use your right hand to slowly bring your right knee down towards the ground, and make sure that both your shoulder blades are on the mat and your chest is facing the sky. Every exhale, try to open your chest a little bit more towards the sky, and breathe into your belly here. Release back and take your Shavasana. You can either have your knees bent or you can extend both your legs all the way down. Soften your face, soften your jaws. Make sure that your shoulders are not sticking in your ears. Relax your legs and your hands. You can have your palms on your belly, close your eyes and take your Shavasana for as long as you want to stay here. I hope you had fun practicing with me today, and I hope you enjoyed this sequence. It's a short, fun sequence and it is kind of a full body flow. You can practice it like whenever you're short on time for a full body workout. It helps you get out of your headspace. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment sections, and we'll meet again on the mat next week. Thank you.